Welcome, everybody, to the 401 podcast presented by Sierra Nevada Realtors. I'm here with your president-elect and my co-host, Sam Olson.
And I'm here with your president and my co-host, Garrett Lapierre. And today we are joined by none other than the Mike Wood.
The Mike Wood.
The.
I love it.
One.
So we wanted to bring you a top producing agent, and we decided to bring you the top producing agent.
None of them answered, so we brought Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to pick your brain a little bit, Mike, about best practices in business,
Cool.
Getting started,
Love it.
and learn a little bit more about you and your background.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah.
How fun will
Tell
that
us
be?
about you.
Yeah, please. How does that make you feel?
How'd you start this journey into real estate?
I accidentally started this journey into real estate because I wanted to save money on commissions, and I was buying houses, and I wanted to sell them myself.
And what'd you do before you got into real estate?
I was a bartender, and I have a degree in accounting. So I was a bartender to put myself through school, my ex-wife through school. Left that, came to Reno,
Okay.
and took a job with a communications company in handling payroll, handling HR, and handling all their books.
Love it.
So you got the personality part
Yep.
of the bartender. Bartender's ear, but an accountant's mindset.
Well, that's it. And those two sides of the brain don't find careers that are financially rewarding and intrinsically rewarding. Bartending was the easiest, and I try to tell people real estate is a lot like bartending, because the first question out of your mouth is, "What can I do for you? How can I help you?
Okay.
What is it you need?"
Interesting.
So it comes from a place of service, but you also do get to interact. You get to talk. You get to find the stories. You get to figure out why, motivations, all of those things all come into play. But at the end of the day, it's a numbers play.
It is. And I think being a bartender, I've met several really good agents that have that background of being a bartender.
Yeah.
And I know when I first started, small talk was just awkward, and being 18 years old, that always makes it a little bit awkward no matter what, because, I'm not used to small talk. I'm
Yeah.
used to high school talk,
Right.
but that's a skill that you build being a bartender, is building rapport and just having small talk with people.
Yes. Yeah. And it's probably the biggest challenge to the business itself, which they don't teach you in real estate school, which is you need to have relationships with people in order to have transactions.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right.
So,
I think that's a huge, huge thing that we need to continue to drive home to the new agent base.
Yeah.
Is be yourself. Be a human being, because if you're not as good as AI.
correct.
So
Correct.
be yourself and
AI
keep
will
your job.
smoke you. Yeah.
Every time. Every time.
Well, and I think that's how you attract your tribe as well, is, being yourself, letting your personality shine, really shine through. That's how you attract the people that are going to be,
Correct.
Attracted to you.
That's what social media is all based around.
Exactly right. Yep. So, and speaking of social media, you're a big social media guy.
No, I'm not. I'm a little bit. There are some really good social media agents. There are some really good social media people in Reno.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. How big of a part of your business is social media, and what value do you place on that?
I would say that social media allows people to vet me before placing a phone call. I do have people, and we all do, that they Google you before they actually meet you face to face.
Yeah.
So it gives people some insight as to who I am. If nothing else, they hear my voice, they see my mannerisms. I talk a lot with my hands. You know this. It gives them a glimpse inside as to who we are, I guess. And I've used it for a couple of reasons. I don't like to just share my life, and this is everything going on. I may overcome that, and I may become more open and vulnerable on the day-to-day, because we do deal with things that are unique, that are stressful. And in social media, a lot of people don't ever share that part. They just share I just sold the house, I just listed a house, blah, 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 all of those things. So I think I'll get to a point, and it may just happen like that, where I just decide I'm just going to show all of the stuff that I do on a daily basis, because at the end of the day, it makes you more relatable.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm always blown away. I'm not as prolific as you are, but putting social media videos out there, and I'll go out into public. People who didn't like my video, I got 10 likes on it, so I know for sure they didn't like my video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love your content. I love seeing your stuff all the time. So it's not about that like or that share that's on
Totally.
Facebook or Instagram. It's what you just said.
Yeah.
It's a living interview. It's a living resume that people always constantly get to look at, and they can look at it at 2 a.m. from their bed. Doesn't matter. It's all right there.
Be careful pressing the like button at 2 a.m.
Jeez.
Yeah. There's a number of pitfalls, but you touched on it earlier. The more you put out, the more people see. The people that find it interesting, they vibe with it. They'll like you. They'll follow you.
Yeah.
You just do it consistently, and there's nothing. I was going to say there's nothing worse, but there are a ton of things that are worse. Yes, it hurts your feelings when you don't get a bunch of.
When you get 10 likes,
you don't get the visual. Because that's what we want. We want that. Do people like me? Once you get over that, you realize that people watch you. They don't necessarily. My wife's on social media. She really doesn't engage. She will on occasion, but she doesn't want to be. No, she does not want people to know that she has a social media page because she doesn't do it to put out things. She does it to consume things. So she uses her likes sparingly.
Yep.
And I had to go to her and I'm like, she does this thing where she'll be getting ready in the morning and she'll be on Instagram and there's a video and she'll set her phone down and she'll go do something else. And I'm like, baby, why don't you do it on put my video up and let that thing just replay. You're sitting here buffering somebody else's numbers. But the fact of the matter is it's much more important that you get hey, I saw that video you did.
Correct.
Than it got a bunch of likes.
Agreed.
If you want to get a bunch of likes, say something really controversial, but don't take a side on it. Can you believe what Trump just did? And then he just did this, and let them just fight about it in the comments. And that's how you get virality. That's how you get people engaged.
Right.
I'm not really a big, hey, are you this side or that side? Go fight. But the biggest videos I've done were over topics that real estate agents felt very strongly about.
Yep.
One of my favorites, and I'll see it on Facebook groups every once in a while, is I just represented a buyer and the listing agent took this much in commission and only gave me this much. And they go crazy. The hardest part about this business is having your own opinions about the way we do things, about who we are, about what we stand for. And some of those opinions you just might want to keep to yourself.
It's true. Not everybody needs to know everything.
No. And you don't. We're in a society right now where people want to fight. And I have said things that I thought were vanilla that would not cause controversy that did.
Yep.
I have hurt people's feelings that I had no intention.
Right.
But there's a disconnect between what the intention is and the end result.
It's true.
So taking ownership of that has been a growing. I've grown a lot in the last, I would say, since COVID. COVID kind of took the thing up. What was those little snow globes, and just kind of shook everything and set it back down. I mean, pre-COVID, it was easy. We'd have happy hour once every 2 months. There was a lot of gathering. We all knew each other. We all talked and we all saw. Then all of a sudden we didn't for a while, and now we're trying to, do we do social stuff? It's getting a lot better, but there are still occasions where the lack of me knowing exactly who you are makes it tough for me to interpret some of the things that you say, right? Because there's part of me that's like this.
Correct.
So
that makes sense.
I blame our political system.
Yeah,
I should agree more.
That's just me.
Well, in the metrics and the eyeballs and the virality goes to those controversial topics and goes to the fighting.
Yes.
And so the rewards of the system reward you not for good behavior, but for bad behavior.
Yes. Yeah, because the good content that either entertains somebody, educates somebody, motivates somebody is not as engaging as the lightning rod.
Correct. Yep.
So,
yep.
I have been the lightning rod multiple times.
Not you.
No, yeah, I know. Shocking, right? Which is why I no longer engage on Facebook. Because I would find myself lost in it. And then getting heated.
It's a trap.
And then saying things that I regret. And then
it's a dopamine trap.
Oh, totally. I love dopamine.
But if you have rules around your engagement, hey, if you come home and let's say you casually drink, but after a couple of drinks, you might say things that the sober you wouldn't have said, then maybe the rule should be, hey, I'm not going to make comments on posts after this.
I would simply say, don't drink in social media. Don't do that. That's a bad mix. Yeah, it's just a bad mix right
It's
there.
bad, yeah. Anytime, especially when your emotions get charged.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff you're being served. I mean, I know, I think about my Facebook feed from 2008 to my Facebook feed today. Man, I wish people were playing the games they were playing back in 2008.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder how my farm is doing. Shit. Mike, if you wanted to say something that would get the people who watch our podcast going, what would really riled up? What would you say?
Get them really riled up?
Yeah, get them to
Oh, I don't
engage with
wanna-
this when we put on. I'm just kidding.
Oh, my
It's not a
goodness.
trap. You're not our foil.
What's your thoughts on private listing portals?
Yeah. Jump in on that.
No, you don't. You don't gotta. It's okay. It's okay. I do want to know what your thoughts are on all the different ways there are right now for lead generation. Like, you don't become the number one agent in the MLS without having at least an idea of what works in lead generation. So what do you do as Mike Wood? What do you do on the Mike Wood team? How are you generating this volume of business?
A lot of it comes from relationships that I have currently with builders. So a lot, if you didn't know, a lot of my numbers are simply from business to business transactions, which is I list homes on the MLS for a couple of national builders.
Mhm.
Now, that's not the same as me going out and getting a seller that wants to sell a house, the one-offs. So basically, I love my builders. My wife works for a builder. My wife used to work for the other one that I work with. But the people that work for those companies are really important to me. They are my clients.
Mm-hmm.
So I have decided that part of, and I did this, 15 years ago, that I wanted part of what I did to be representing builders.
Okay.
Now, they don't pay, I don't know, can I use percentages on
Nope.
this?
No.
They don't pay. We just have an arrangement where all I do is place the home on the MLS. That's it. I'm pending, market sold. A lot of real estate agents go, well, he's the guy that does. I'm just a guy putting houses on the market. If you didn't know, there's a company out of Vegas that'll do it too. I wanted to be kind of in touch with the industry that I believe feeds real estate agents over long periods of time, which is people that build houses. And because my wife worked for one, I specifically wanted to help them. I was interviewed with two other agents long time ago. My wife had nothing to do with it, and I made an arrangement that kind of locked me in there. So I don't think that there are probably 50 agents in this town that I would grill about lead generation outside of the numbers. Now, if all of my numbers were organically generated, I would have a class, I would have a school community, I would sell subscriptions, because my lead gen would be so freaking amazing, or my team would have to be so big because there's no way you can handle the amount of transactions that I run without a large team. If you're scheduling the inspections, showing up, meeting the appraiser, all of those things. So I would tell you, if I were in fact, I'm training new agents right now.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of different pillars that they need to have. Number one is social media. I think they have to. The name of the game is this: find as many people that will be your friend as possible. Be good friends with them. So be in relationship with as many people as you possibly can. And that number is about 50 to 75, depending on who you are. If you're really good, it can be 100. Build a database as fast and robust as you possibly can. Social media should be a part of it. You should have a monthly newsletter that goes out to anybody that you can get an email, a phone number, a name for. You should definitely have a CRM where you can keep all of these contacts. You should go to networking events. You should set up landing pages, so lead magnets, so that I could say on social media, hey, there are 3 communities that really high net worth individuals love to live in this town. And if you want the overview of those things, I'll email them to you. Just go here and and click this link and da da da. So I would make all roads as easy as possible with as little friction as possible. I would also do I do a Google My Business, and I would make that as robust as possible because people do use Google, they use AI. I would join Reddit, and I would engage on Reddit because AI uses Reddit. And I would look for people that fit my ideal client profile. And all of us are different. All of us, I mean, there's how many real estate agents in Reno right now? 35?
For all 6 counties, we got about 3,500. You know,
Cool.
I'd say Washoe's the biggest part of that. So 2,000, 2,200, somewhere in there.
So I figure if there are 500 to 600 transactions, or in January a lot lower, but 500 to 600 transactions and 3,500 real estate agents, even if there were 2 agents per deal, you're looking at 1,000 transactions. That means 1 in 3 agents are going to get a deal every month. And then I just re-engineer that. I go, well, I got to be one of those agents, but I also want 2, so I'm going to take out a couple more. I want 3, I want 4, I want 5. I would go and meet. Well, let me back up. I would define who I am as an agent, who I help, who my ideal client is. Like if this person walked in and said, I got to sell a house, I got to buy a house, I know exactly my playbook. And then I would put out social media that they would hear, that would attract them because they are my tribe. And like I said, there are a number of agents that are doing just a killer job. And then I would have systems in place to nurture them forever.
Love it. And you hit on something that was the learning curve for me on social media is, you know, it's easy to get out there and just say something on camera.
It's who the hell am I talking to?
Exactly.
That's exactly it. And
What's my message to
I
those guys?
struggle with it every day.
Yep.
Yeah. Because we had an interaction last week. I thought it was really neat. And I struggle with how I would present it on social media because I could present it in a way that would make, I guess I'm outing you now, but it could be like, well, Sam's the bad guy. He's the enforcer. But then again, at the same time, Sam was doing something that a friend would do, I've had plenty of instances where I've been turned in either to the division or to the MLS. It happens all the time. And I don't like it. I would much prefer, even if an agent doesn't know me, to text me and say, hey, were you aware that you screwed up? I'd be like, no. So I have somebody that will take my photos, they'll put them in a carousel, and they'll post them on social media. That person did not know that a particular word could not be used in advertising of a home. Sam took a screenshot, said, hey, just so you know, there is potential for liability here. And I went, cool, thanks, I appreciate that. So I go back to her, I said, hey, you cannot use this word, just so you know, here are some things, here are some guidelines. Follow these guidelines from here on out, but this is a correction. I'm not, and she said, cool. She switches it, puts it back out. Cool. Now, I could have easily woken up on Monday to an email saying, hey, we'd like to talk to you about this from a higher power that has enforcement capabilities. Right. And I have. The best one was I had a past client, took the house off the market, and she was about to put it back on, but I didn't know she was going to put it back on. She took her Zillow link, put it on Facebook. Hey, if anybody's interested in my house, it's going to go on the market. Please contact Mike Wood, and then links me on it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, you've been tagged in a post. Cool. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I thought to myself, well, she doesn't have to follow my rules. Right. And I got a call. And I said, I had no idea it was happening. I got tagged in a post, and yes, I understand what you're saying, but I didn't do it. Right. And they said, yeah, you're right, you didn't do it. So,
yep. One of the things I get a chuckle about all the time, every time I run across it, is a picture of Parmesan cheese and your license number.
That's me. I parked it in front of Keller Williams so that they'll all see it when they come out. And I'm joking if you're with Keller Williams. I'm just teasing. The one thing I will tell you is I don't have any ill will against any brokerage, any brand, any broker. Most of them I have met, and I know I like. There are times where we'll be in a deal and the deal goes sideways, and there are a number of them I've had to apologize to afterwards. I've got a ton of respect for agents across the board, across the nation. I coach real estate agents that aren't here. I coach some that are here. I don't have anybody that's willing to get into this business and get into the stadium and try to slay the dragon. I'm all for it, and I'll support them, and I'll do anything. I do find it, and I'm not even emotional about the whole real Remax. I'm watching all of this stuff happen, and I'm watching some really good creators that are in the real estate space that have gone into content creation instead because it's more lucrative, whatever their reason. And God love them for doing it. You get some interesting times. I mean, really interesting times as to and big money.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here going, well, what does this business look like in 3 years? What does it look like in 5 years, or et cetera, et cetera? The one thing I know, because of what I do, is that as long as I have good relationships with good people that see value in me, I won't have to worry about AI. I won't have to worry about who's buying what brokerage and all that stuff. My job is just to take care of the client. Now, I have to follow the rules that I've been given.
Of course.
So if I've been told, do not say on social media that you have a house coming up, I don't say I have a house coming up.
Yep.
Whether I agree with it or I like it really doesn't. It's the same way on the national political side.
Sure.
I get it. Yeah, I understand.
Well, and I think that's a wonderful thought exercise for all of our members to do is, what does my business look like? What does this industry look like a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
And really game that out. It doesn't mean you're going to be right. None of us have a crystal ball, but knowing where the ground is
Not
shifting.
just that, Garrett. Tell them, anybody watching, you have to do today is July blank 2026, and I guarantee in 5 years, this is what real estate looks like. Do that. I dare you. The here is my prediction posts are very engaging because everybody has an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
The other side of the coin is somebody's going to be right. And it's kind of cool to go, I told you, right? Like I thought this housing market was going to absolutely implode in 23, 24, 25. I think it's going to implode right now. It's probably not going to. In fact, we are most likely at the bottom of a down cycle, and the third quarter, fourth quarter will be bouncing back up.
I heard it here first.
Well, now it's captured.
Now it's captured. I hope you're right.
The worst that can happen is I can be wrong. And
Yeah.
you go, yeah, you're an idiot. I'm like, I know.
It happens sometimes.
I would much rather have a positive, optimistic outlook than a doom and gloom outlook, because your perception of the world, the way you see things, dictates how your life goes.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
The energy you put out into the universe
That's
is
it,
the
dude.
energy you get back.
That's it.
If I wake up and it's a bad day, well, it's a bad day. I wake up and it's a good day, it's a good day.
Did you see the article that came out yesterday that said when people are told they did not sleep well, they tend to have worse days?
Yeah.
Regardless of what their aura ring said or anything else.
Yeah.
If they get confirmation bias, they believe it.
Yep.
So
I'm a victim.
dude.
My watch doesn't even have a second hand, and it has no smart features. Because I used to wear the watch
Right.
that'd be like, oh my God, what's wrong with your heart? Oh, you're not sleeping well. Oh, what's going on? I'm like, my life is falling
There's
apart.
some negative.
And so you know what I did? I threw that watch away.
Yeah,
I tried
there
to
you
sell
go.
it first, but nobody wants old tech. So I threw it away. And, we got a watch without a second hand. My life has gotten so much better. This is my best productivity tool right here.
I love that. The other thing you can do is you have someone with you 24 hours a day that is talking to you, that can frame. Let's go back to our interaction earlier. So Sam sends me a text, and I'd love to read the text. Actually, it's pretty funny. But he sends the text. He just started following me on Instagram a month or two ago. So he sends me a screen.
You're late to the game,
He
Sam.
sends me a screenshot, and he says, hey, just heads up, you've got a possible violation if you can't use that word. I said, oh, I liked it better when you didn't follow me on Instagram. But my mind, my internal voice has two ways I could process this. I could take offense and how dare you, and I can't believe. And then I could come out and say something like, I can't believe that this particular word can't be used. Or I could take a second, I could take a step back and go, let's really look at the overall picture. I had a conversation with Grok, the chat.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's conversational AI, and I said, hey, this is what happened. Um, what do you what would you put out as a social media post? And it's like, this is what I would say. I would say I just got caught saying the F word. But I'm glad he brought it to my attention. So then I read it and I get a little further into it and I go, oh, I get it. Okay. Yeah. Basically, the whole thing said your job is to talk about the house. Your job isn't to talk about who's living in the house. And I went, you're right. That's my job. My job's to talk about the house. Okay. So that internal voice goes from, well, screw Sam. He hurt my feelings, to thank you, Sam. I appreciate you opening my eyes to that. And now I'm going to keep that in mind when I write my remarks or when I have conversations. Because I understand if it's a little studio, then the ideal buyer is probably one, maybe two. I just go by occupancy. So a big home, well, you need more people.
Right.
Okay, well, it doesn't have to be a traditional more people. We could do it like me and my buddies. I'm seeing people buy homes and rent out individual rooms right now, which scares the crap out of me. And then I'm also seeing them do it we just had a buyer that bought a house and they're using it for elder care. So each bedroom, bathroom is used by one group. They bring in a nurse. Housing has become commoditized in a really bad way. And unfortunately, we're in a position where the people that have been coming into our town had more means, I guess, to afford things. So at the beginning, they were buying things cheap in their eyes, but they pushed our price points up so high that now they're becoming unaffordable for the people that live here.
Correct.
And that has been more of what's been on my mind than anything. And a lot of the comments on social media, depending on the post, if you try to say Reno's a great town, if you're thinking about moving here, a lot of locals do not like that. At the same time, I can't go, hey, if you live in California, don't watch this video because I don't. It's like, I mean, I watched this happen. I grew up in Northern California. I watched it happen in the Bay Area. I watched it happen in Sacramento. I went to a little high school, Lincoln High School in Northern California. We had 400 kids in the school. That school is totally different than what I grew up in. I grew up in a cow town. It is no longer a cow town. It is a big, robust town, which is great if you owned homes in that town when it all started.
Yep.
But if you're trying to buy into it now, it's kind of tough, just like Reno. So I empathize so much with the people that are just struggling to live because I did that. I spent a large section of my life living off of potatoes, living off of I could make macaroni and cheese so many different ways. But I did. I was a divorced dad. I had two kids. My wife and I, or ex-wife and I, shared custody of kids, and so I understand the struggle. I totally get it. I worked 3 jobs, but I don't know how to bridge I'm a real estate agent with. I want to help with housing affordability other than I'm just going to tell my sellers they got to price it 10% below the last comp. I mean, how else do I don't control price.
No.
None of us do.
No. And we've seen a mass migration since COVID.
You're about to see another one too.
Agreed. And part of it's just timing, where you're at in your life. If I was 20 years old when this market was happening, I would not love that. Yeah. Being a property owner and being a little bit older, you go, okay, well, the cards are in my favor on that one.
Perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Yeah. But you're exactly right. There's not a ton of things that we can do other than over the course of time. What I think ends up happening is those employers end up paying a better wage to get better talent to be here, so they don't have to hire and fire a bunch of people every single year. We know this as business owners. The hardest part